sweet aunt, I know not what you mean.
Stand by me, Lucius, do not fear thine aunt.
She loves thee, boy, too well to do thee harm.
Aye, when my father was in Rome, she did.
What means my niece Lavinia by these signs?
Fear her not, Lucius, somewhat doth she mean. See, boy, see how much she makes of thee. There is some whither she would have thee go with her. Oh, boy, Cornelia never with more care read to her sons than she hath read to thee sweet poetry and Tully's order. Canst thou not guess wherefore she plies thee thus?
My lord, I know not I, nor can I guess, unless some fit or frenzy do possess her. For I've heard my grandsir say full oft, extremities of these would make men mad. And I've read that Hecuba of Troy ran mad for sorrow. That made me to fear. Although, my lord, I know my noble aunt loves me as dear as ever my mother did, and would not but in fury fright my youth, which made me down to throw my books and fly, causeless perhaps, but pardon me, sweet aunt. And madam, if my uncle Marcus go, I will most willingly attend your ladyship.
Lucius, I will.
Oh, now, Lavinia. Marcus, what means this? Somewhat there is that she desires to see. Which is a girl of these? Open them wide. If thou art deeper read and better skilled, come and take choice of all of my library, and so beguile thy sorrow till the heavens reveal the damned contriver of this deed. Why lifts she up her arms in sequence thus?
I think she means that there were more than one confederate in the fact. Aye, more there was, or else to heaven she heaves them for revenge.
Soft. What book is that she tosseth so?
Grandsir, 'tis Ovid's Metamorphosis. My mother gave it to me.
For love of her that's gone, perhaps she culled it from among the rest.
Soft so busily she turns the leaves. Help her, what would she find? Lavinia, shall I read? This is the tragic tale of Philomel, and treats of Tyrius' treason and his rape. And rape, I fear, was root of thy annoy.
See, brother, see, note how she coats the leaves.
Wert thou thus surprised, sweet girl, ravished and wronged as Philomela was, forced in the ruthless, vast and gloomy woods? See, I such a place there is where we did hunt. Oh, had we never hunted there, patterned by that here the poet describes, by nature, made for murders and for rapes.
Oh, why should nature build so foul a den unless the gods delight in tragedies?
Give side, sweet girl, for here are none but friends. What Roman lord was it durst do the deed? Or slunk not Saturninus Tarquinius that left the camp to sin in Lucre's bed?
Sit down, sweet niece, brother, sit down by me. Apollo, Pallas, Jove, or Mercury, inspire me that I may this treason find. My lord, look here, Lavinia. This sandy plot is plain. Guide, if thou canst, this after me. Now, I've writ my name without the help of any hands at all. Write thou, good niece, and here display at last what God will have discovered for revenge. Then guide thy pen to print thy sorrows plain, that we may know the traitors and the truth. Or do you read, my lord, what she hath writ? Stuprum Chiron Demetrius. What, the lustful sons of Tamora, performers of this heinous bloody deed.
Magni dominator poli, tam lentus audis scalera, tam lentus vides!
Oh, call me, gentle lord, although I know there is enough written upon this earth to stir a mutiny in the mildest thoughts and arm the minds of infants to exclaims. My lord, kneel down with me. Lavinia, kneel. And kneel, sweet boy, the Roman Hector's hope, and swear with me, as with the woeful fear and father of that chaste dishonored dame, Lord Junius Brutus, swear for Lucre's rape, that we will prosecute by good advice mortal revenge upon these traitorous Goths, and see their blood and die with this reproach.
'Tis sure enough, and you knew how. But if you hunt these fair whelps, then beware, the damned will wait, and if she win ye once, she's with the lion deeply still in league, and lulls him whilst she playeth on her back. And when he sleeps, will she do what she list.
I say, my lord, that if I were a man, their mother's bedchamber should not be safe, for these base-bond men should yoke of Rome.
Aye, that's my boy, thy father hath full oft for his ungrateful country done the like.
And uncle, so will I, and if I live.
Come, go with me into my own armory. Lucius, I'll fit thee, my boy, and with thou shalt carry from me presents to the emperor's sons that I intend to send them both. Come, they'll do my message, wilt thou not?
Aye, with my dagger in their bosom, grandsir.
No, boy, not so. I'll teach thee another course. Lavinia, come. Marcus, look to my house. Lucius and I'll go brave it at the court. I marry will we, sir, and will be waited on.
Oh, heavens! Can you hear a good man groan and not relent, or not compassion him? Marcus, attempt him in his ecstasy that hath more scars of sorrow in his heart than foemen's marks upon his battered shield. and yet so just that he will not revenge the heavens for old Andronicus.
Demetrius, here's the son of Lucius. He hath some message to deliver us.
Aye, some mad message from his mad grandfather.
My lords, with all the humbleness I may, I greet you from Andronicus, and pray the Roman gods confound you both.
Gramercy, lovely Lucius. What's the news?
That you are deciphered, that's the news, for villains marked with rape. May it please you, my grandsir well advised hath sent by me the goodliest weapons of his army, to gratify your honorable youth, the hope of Rome, for so he bid me say, and so I do. And with his presence present, whenever you have need, you may be armed and appointed well. And so I leave you both, like bloody villains.
What's here? A scroll written round about. Let's see. Integer vitae sceleris qui puris non eget mauriaculus ne arcu. Arcu.
Aye, 'tis a verse in Horace, I know it well. I read it in a grammar long ago.
Aye, just a verse in Horace, right? You have it. Now, what a thing it is to be an ass. Here's no sound to jest. The old men have found their guilt and sends them weapons, wrapped about with lines that wound beyond their feelings to the quick. Were our witty empress well afoot, she would applaud Andronicus' deceit. Well, let her rest in her unrest a while. And now, young lords, was not a happy star that led us to Rome strangers, and more than so captives, to be advanced to this height. It did me good before the palace gates to brave the tribune in his brother's hearing.
But me more good to see so great a lord basely insinuate and send us gifts.
Had he not reason, Lord Demetrius? Did you not use his daughter very friendly?
I would we had 1,000 Roman dames at such a day, by turn to serve our lust.
A charitable wish, and full of love.
Here laughs your mother for to say amen.
And that would she, for 20,000 more.
Come, let us go and pray to all the gods for our beloved mother in her pains.
Pray to the devils. The gods have given us over.
Why do the emperor's trumpets flourish thus?
But like for joy, the emperor hath a son.
Soft, who comes here?
Good morrow, lords. Oh, tell me, have you seen Erin the Moor?
Well, more or less. What ne'er witted all. Here Erin is, and what with Erin now?
Oh, gentle Erin, we are all undone. No help, or woe betide thee evermore.
Oh, I've put a caterwauling dost thou keep. What doth thy wrap and fumble in thy arms?
Oh, that which I would hide from heaven's eyes, our empress' shame, and stately Rome's disgrace. She is delivered, lords. She is delivered.
To whom?
I mean, she is brought to bed.
Well, God give her good rest. What hath he sent her?
A devil.
Well, then she's the devil's dam. A joyful issue.
A joyless, dismal, black, and sorrowful issue. Here's a babe, as loathsome as a toad amongst the fair-faced breeders of our clime. Our empress sends at thee thy stamp, thy seal, and bids thee christen it with thy dagger's point.
Zoundy whore! Is black so base a hue? Sweet blouse, your abuse is not shore.
Villain! What hast thou done?
That which thou canst not undo.
Thou hast undone our mother.
Villain, I have done thy mother!
Very good God, thou hast undone. It shall not live.
Shall not die!
Aaron, it must. The mother wills it so.
What's the nurse? Then let no man but I do execution on my flesh and blood.
I'll broach the tadpole on my rapier's point. Nurse, give it me. My sword shall soon dispatch it.
Sooner the sword shall plow thy bowels up. Stay, murderous villains. Will you kill your brother? No. By the burning tapers of the sky that shone so brightly when this boy was got, he dies upon my scimitar's sharp point that touches my firstborn son and heir. I tell you, younglings, not Enceladus, with all his threatening band of Typhon's brood, nor great Alcades, nor the god of war, shall seize this prey from his father's hands. What? What? Ye sanguine, shallow-hearted boys, ye white-lined walls, ye alehouse-painted signs, coal black is better than another hue, in that it scorns to bear another hue, or all the water in the ocean can never turn the swan's black legs to white. Tell the empress from me that I am of age to keep mine own. Excuse it how she can.
Wilt thou betray thy noble mistress thus?
My mistress is my mistress. This is myself. Thy vigor and the picture of my youth. This before all the world do I prefer. This, maugre all the world will I keep safe. Or some of you shall smoke for it alone.
By this our mother is forever shamed.
Rome shall despise her for this foul escape.
The emperor in his rage will doom her death.
I blush to think upon this ignominy.
Why, there's the privilege your beauty bears. Fie, treacherous hue that betrays with blushing the close enacts and counsels of thy heart. Here is a young lad, framed of another leer. He is your brother, lords, sensibly fed of that self-blood that first gave life to you. And from your womb where you imprisoned were, he is enfranchised and brought to light. Nay, he is your brother by the surer side, although my seal be stamped upon his face.
Aaron, what shall I say unto the empress?
Advise thee, Aaron, what is to be done, and we shall all subscribe to thy advice. Then save thou the child, that we may all be safe.
Then sit we down and let us all consult. My son and I shall have the wind of you. Keep there. Now talk at pleasure of your safety.
How many women saw this child?
Why so, brave lords? When we join in league, I am a land. But if you brave the more, the chafed boar, the mountain lioness, the ocean swells not as Aaron's storms. But say again, how many saw the child?
Cornelia, the midwife, and myself, and no one else but the delivered empress.
The empress, the midwife, and myself. Two may keep counsel while the third's away. Go to the empress. Tell her this I said. So cries a pig prepared to the spit.
What means thou, Aaron? Wherefore didst thou this?
Oh, Lord, sir, 'tis but a deed of policy. Shall she live to betray this guilt of ours? A long-tongued, babbling gossip, no, lords, no. And now, be it known to you my full intent. Not far. One Meletius, my countryman, his wife but yesternight was brought to bed. His child is like to her, fair as you are. Go pack with him, and give the mother gold, and tell them both the circumstance of all, and how by this the child shall be advanced, and received as the emperor of Rome, and substituted in the place of mine. And let the emperor handle him for his own. Why, hark ye, lords, you see I have given her physic, and you must needs bestow her funeral. This done, so you take no longer days, but send the midwife presently to me. The midwife and the nursemaid well away? Then let the ladies tattle what they please.
Aaron, I see thou will not trust the air with secrets.
For this care of Tamora, herself and hers are highly bound to thee.
Now to the Goths the swift to swallow flies. Dare to dispose this treasure in mine arms, and secretly to greet the emperor's friends. I'll make you feed on berries and on roots, and feed on curds and whey, and suck the goat, and cabin in a cave, and bring you up to be a warrior, and command a camp.
Come, Marcus. Come, kinsman, this is the way. Sir boy, let me see your archery. Look, ye draw home enough, and 'tis there straight. Be remembered, Marcus. She's gone. She's fled. Sirs, take it to your tools. You cousins shall go sound the ocean and cast your nets. Happily, you may catch her in the sea. Yet, there is as little justice as at land. No, Publius and Sempronius. You must do it. 'Tis you must dig with mattock and with spade and pierce the inmost center of the earth. Then, when you come to Pluto's region, I pray you, give him this petition. I pray you. Say that it calls for justice and for aid, and then it comes from old Andronicus. Do it, masters, and remember, leave you not a man of war unsearched. This wicked emperor may have shipped her hence, and cousins then, You may go pipe for justice.
Oh, Publius, is not this a heavy case to see thy noble uncle thus distract?
Therefore, my lords, it highly us concerns, by day and night, to attend him carefully, and feed his humor kindly as we may, till time begets some careful remedy.
Kinsman, his sorrows are past remedy. Join with the Goths, and with revengeful war take wreak on Rome for this ingratitude, and vengeance on the traitor Saturnine.
How now, Publius? How now, my masters? What? Have you met with them?
No, my good lord, but Pluto sends you word. If you will have revenge from hell, you shall. Mary for justice, she is so employed, thinks, with Jove in heaven or somewhere else. So that perforce you must needs stay a time.
He doth me wrong to feed me with delays. Marcus, we are but shrubs. No cedars we know. Mortal man framed of the Cyclops size, but metal. Marcus, steel to the very back, yet wrung with more wrongs than our backs can bear. And sith there is no justice in earth, nor hell, we will solicit heaven and move the gods to send down justice for to wreak our wrongs. Come to this gear, you are a good archer, Marcus. And Jovem, that's for you. Here, and Apollinaire. And Martem, that's for myself. Here, boy, to Mercury. Here, to Pallas. To Saturn, Caius, not to Saturn 9. You were as good to shoot against the wind. To it, boy, Marcus, loose when I bid. Of my word, I have writ to effect. There is not a god left unsolicited.
Kinsmen, shoot all your shafts into the court. We will afflict the emperor in his pride.
Now, masters, draw! Whoa! Whoa! Oh, well said, Lucius!
My lord, I am a mile beyond the moon. Your letter is with Jupiter. By this,
Why, there it goes. God give his lordship joy. News! News from heaven! Marcus, the post has come! Sir, what tidings? Have you any letters? Shall I have justice? What says Jupiter?
Woo! The gibbet maker. He says he hath taken them down again. Command must not be hanged till the next week.
Well, what says Jupiter, I ask thee?
Alas, sir, I know not Jupiter. I never drank with him in all my life.
Why, villain, art not thou the carrier?
I, sir, of my pigeons, sir, nothing else.
Didst thou not come then from heaven?
Heaven! Alas, sir, I never came there. God forbid I should be so bold to press heaven in my own days. Why, I'm going with my pigeons to the tribunal plea to take up a matter of brawl betwixt my uncle and one of the imperial men.
Tell me, can you deliver an oration to the emperor with a grace?
Nay, truly, sir, I can never say grace in all my life.
Come hither, sir, I'll make no more ado. But give your pigeons to the emperor. By me, thou shalt have justice at his hands. Give me pen and ink. Sirrah, can you with a grace deliver up a supplication?
Aye, sir.
Then here is a supplicant for you. And at the first approach, you must come to him and then kneel, and then kiss his foot, then deliver up your pigeons, and then look for your reward. I'll be at hand, sir, so you do it bravely.
And warrant you, sir, let me alone.
Oh, Sirrah, hast thou a knife? Come, let me see it. Here, Marcus, fold it in the oration. And when you have given it to the emperor, I pray you, knock at my door and tell me what he says.
God be with you, sir, I will.
Come, Marcus, let us go. Publius, follow me.
Why, lords, what wrongs are these? Was ever seen an emperor in Rome thus overborne, troubled, confronted thus, and for the extent of equal justice used in such contempt? However, these disturbers of our peace buzz in the people's ears. They're not half past, but even with law, against the willful sons of old Andronicus. And what if his sorrows have so overwhelmed his wits? Shall we be thus afflicted in his wreaks, his fits, his frenzy, and his bitterness? And now he writes to heaven heaven for his redress. See, here's to Jove, and this to Mercury, this to Apollo, and this the god of war. Sweet scrolls to fly about the streets of Rome. What's this but libeling against the Senate and blazoning our injustice everywhere, as who would say in Rome no justice were? But if we live, these feigned ecstasies shall be no shelter to his outrages, and he and his shall learn that justice live in Saturninus' health, whom, if he sleep, he'll so awake as in his fury shall call the proud spirit of the lips.
My gracious lord, my lovely Saturnine, lord of my life, commander of my thoughts, calm thee, and bear the faults of Titus' age, the effects of sorrow for his valiant sons whose loss have pierced him deep and scarred his heart, and rather comfort him in his distress and plight, than persecute the meanest or the best for these contempts. For thus it shall become high-witted Tamora to gloze withal. But Titus, I have touched thee to the quick, thy life blood out. If Aaron now be wise, then all is safe, the anchor in the port. Now, good fellow, wilt thou speak with us?
Yea, forsooth, and your mistress shall be imperial.
Empress I am, but yonder sits the emperor.
'Tis he! God and St. Stephen give you good. I have brought you a letter. I have a couple of pigeons here.
Go. Take him away and hang him presently.
How much money must I have?
Come, sirrah, you must be hanged.
Hang thee, lady, then I burn up an neck to a fair end.
Despiteful and intolerable wrongs! Shall I endure these monstrous villainies? I know from whence this same device proceeds. May this be born as if his traitorous sons that died by law for murder of our brother have by my means been butchered wrongfully. Go. Drag the villain hither by the hair. Nor age, nor honor shall shape privilege. For this proud mock, I'll be thy slaughter man. Sly, frantic wretch that hopes to make thee great, and hope thyself should govern Rome and me. What news with thee, Emilius?
Armed, my lords. Rome never had more cause. The Goths have gathered pay, and with the power of high resolved men bent to the spoil, they hither march amain. Under conduct of Lucius, son of old Andronicus, who threats in course of this revenge to do as much as ever Coriolanus did.
Is more like Lucius, general of the Goths. These tidings dip me, and I hang the head, as flowers with frost or grass beat down with storms. Aye, now begin our sorrows to reproach. 'Tis he the common people love so much. Myself hath often heard them say, when I did walk like a private man, that Lucius' banishment was wrongfully, and they have wished that Lucius were their emperor.
Why should you fear? Is not your city strong?
Aye, but the citizens favor Lucius, and more revolt for me to succor him.
Be thy thoughts imperious like thy name. Is the sun dimmed that gnats do fly in it? The eagle suffers little birds to sing and is not careful what they mean thereby, knowing that with the shadow of his wing he could have pleasure stint their melody. So mayest thou, the giddy men of Rome. Then cheer thy spirit, and know, thou emperor, I will enchant the old Andronicus with words more sweet and yet more dangerous than baits to fish or honey stalks to sheep, when as the one is wounded with the bait, the other is rotted with delicious seed.
But he will not entreat his son for us.
If Tamora entreat him, then he will, for I can smooth and fill his aged ears with golden promises that were his heart almost impregnable, his old ears deaf, yet should ear and heart obey my tongue. Go thou before to be our ambassador, for if the emperor requests a parley of warlike Lucius, appoint the meeting even at his father's house, the old Andronicus.
Emilius, do this message honorably, and if he stand in hostage for his safety, bid him demand what pledge will please him best.
Your bidding shall I do effectually.
And now will I to that old Andronicus, and temper him with all the art I have, to pluck the proud Lucius from the warlike Goths. And now, sweet Emperor, be blithe again, and bury all thy fear in my devices.
And go successfully and fleet.
Approved warriors, and my faithful friends, I have received letters from great Rome, which signifies what hate they bear their emperor, and how desirous of our sight they are. Therefore, great lords, be as your titles witness, imperious and impatient of your wrongs, and wherein Rome hath done you any scathe, let him make treble satisfaction.
Brave slips sprung forth from the great Andronicus, whose name was once our terror, now our comfort, whose high exploits and honorable deeds in grateful Rome requites with foul contempt. Be bold in us, we'll follow where thou leadst, like stinging bees in hottest summer's day, led by their masters to the flowered fields, and be avenged on cursed Tamora. And as he saith, so say we all with him.
I humbly thank him, and I thank you all. But who comes here, led by a lusty god?
Renowned Lucius. From our troops I strayed to gaze upon the ruinous monastery. I heard a child cry underneath the wall. I made unto the noise, when soon I heard the crying babe controlled with this discourse. Did not thy hue betray whose brat thou art? Had nature lent thee but thy mother's look, villain, thou mightst have been an emperor. Peace, villain, peace. Even thus he rates the babe. For I must bear thee to a trusty Goth, who when he knows thou art the empress babe, will hold thee dearly for thy mother's sake. With this, my weapon drawn, I rushed upon him, surprised him suddenly, and brought him hither, to use as you think needful of the man.
O worthy God, this is the incarnate devil that robbed Andronicus of his good hand. This is the pearl that pleased your empress eye, and here's the base fruit of her burning lust. A halter, soldiers. Hang him on this tree, and by his side his fruit of bastard.
Touch not the boy, he is of royal blood.
Too like the sire forever being good. First hang the child that he may see its sprawl, a sight to vex the father's soul withal.
Get me a ladder. Lucius, save the child. If thou wilt do this, I shall show thee wondrous things that highly may advantage thee to hear. If thou wilt not, befall what may befall. I'll speak no more, but vengeance wrought you all.
Say on, and if it please me which thou speakst, thy child shall live, and I will see it nourished.
And if it please thee, why, I assure thee, Lucius, 'twill vex thy soul to hear what I shall speak. For I must talk of murders, rapes, massacres, acts of black night, abominable deeds, complots of mischief, treason, villainy, rueful to hear, yet piteously performed. And this shall all be buried in my death, unless thou swear to me my child shall live.
Even by my God, I swear to thee I will.
First, know thou, I begot him on the empress.
Most insatiate, luxurious woman.
Tut, Lucius, 'twas but a deed of charity. But that which thou shalt hear of me anon, 'twas her 2 sons that murdered Bassianus. They cut thy sister's tongue, and ravished her, and cut her hands, and trimmed her as thou sawest.
Detestable villain! Call'st thou that trimming?
Why, she was washed, and cut, and trimmed, and 'twas trimmed for sport for them which had the doing of it.
Barbarous, beastly villains like thyself.
Indeed, I was their tutor to instruct them. That cotting spirit had they of their mother. That bloody mind I think they learned of me. Well, let my deeds be witness of my worth. I trained thy brethren to that guileful hole, where the dead corpse of Bassianus lay. I wrote the letter that thy father found, and hid the gold within that letter mentioned, confederate with the queen and her 2 sons. I played the cheater for thy father's hands, and when I had it, drew myself apart. I pried him through the crevice of the wall, when he, for his hand, had his 2 sons' heads, beheld his tears, and laughed so heartily that both mine eyes were radiant like to his. And when I told the empress of this sport, she swooned almost at my pleasing tale, and for my tidings gave me 20 kisses.
What, canst thou say all this and never blush?
Aye, like a black dog, as the saying is.
Art thou not sorry for these heinous deeds?
Aye, that I had not done 1,000 more. Even now I curse the day, and yet I think few come within the compass of my curse, wherein I did not some notorious ill, as kill a man, or else devise his death, ravish a maid, or else plot the way to do it. A accuse some innocent and forswear myself, set deadly enmity between two friends. Oft, I have digged up dead men from their graves, and set them upright at their dear friend's door, and on their skin, as on the bark of trees, have with my knife carved in Roman letters, "Let not your sorrow die, though I am dead." But I have done 1,000 dreadful things as willingly as one would kill a fly. But nothing grieves me so heartily indeed, but that I cannot do 10,000 more.
Bring down the devil, for he must not die so sweet a death as hanging presently.
If there be devils, would I were a devil, that I might live and burn in everlasting fire, so I might have your company in hell, but to torment you with my bitter tongue.
Sir, stop his mouth and let him speak no more.
My lord, there's a messenger from Rome. Desires to be admitted to your presence.
Let him come near. Welcome, Emilius. What's the news from Rome?
Lord Lucius, and princes of the Goths, the Roman emperor greets you all by name. And for he understands you are in arms, he craves a parley at your father's house, willing you to man your hostages, and they shall be immediately delivered.
What says our general?
Emilius, let the emperor give his pledges unto my father and my uncle Marcus, and we will come. March away.
Thus, in this strange and sad habiliment, I will encounter with Andronicus and tell him I am revenge, sent from below to join with him and right his heinous wrongs. Knock at his study where they say he keeps, to ruminate strange plots of dire revenge, and tell him revenge has come to join with him and work confusion on his enemies.
Who doth molest my contemplation? Is it your trick to make me open the door that so my sad decrees may fly away and all my study be to no effect? You are deceived for what I mean to do. See here, in bloody lines I have set down. What is written shall be executed.
Titus, I am come to talk with thee.
No, not a word. How can I grace my talk, wanting a hand to give that accord? Thou hast the odds of me, therefore no more.
If thou didst know me, thou would talk with me.
I am not mad. I know thee well enough. Witness this wretched stump. Witness these crimson lines. Witness these trenches made by grief and care. Witness the tiring day and heavy night. Witness all sorrow. That I know thee for our proud empress, mighty Tamora. Is not thy coming for my other hand?
No, thou sad man, I am not Tamora. She is thy enemy, and I thy friend. I am revenge, sent from the infernal kingdom to ease the gnawing vulture of thy mind by working wreakful vengeance on thy foes. Come down and welcome me to this world's light. Confer with me of murder and of death. There's not a hollow cave or lurking place, no vast obscurity or misty veil, where bloody murder or detested rape can couch for fear, but I will find them out, and in their ears tell them my dreadful name, revenge, which makes the foul offender quake.
Art thou revenge? And art thou sent to me to be a torment to mine enemies?
I am. Therefore come down and welcome me.
Nay, do me some service ere I come to thee. Well, by thy side will rape and murder stands. Now give assurance that thou art revenge. Stab them, or tear them on thy chariot wheel, and then I'll come and be thy wagoner and whirl along with thee about the globes. Provide thee two proper palfreys, black as jet, to haul thy vengeful wagons swift away and find out murder in their guilty cares. And when thy car is loaded with their heads, I will dismount and by thy wagon wheel trot like a servile footman all day long, and day by day I'll do this heavy task, so thou destroy, repine, and murder there!
These are my ministers, and come with me.
Are them thy ministers? And what are they called?
Rape and murder, therefore called so, because they take vengeance of such kind of men.
Good Lord. How like the Emperor's sons they are! And you the Empress! We worldly men of miserable, mad, mistaken guys. Oh, sweet revenge, now do I come to thee, and if one arm's embracement will content thee, I will embrace thee in it by and by.
Disclosing with him fits his lunacy. Whatever I forge to feed his brains of humor, do you uphold and maintain in your speeches. For now he firmly only takes me for revenge. And being credulous in his mad thought, I'll make him send for Lucius, his son. And whilst I at a banquet hold him sure, I'll find some cunning practice out of hand to scatter and disperse the giddy Goths. Or at least make them his enemies. See, he comes himself. I must play my theme.
Long have I been forlorn and all for thee. Welcome, Dreadfear, to my woeful house. Rapine and murder you are welcome to. How like the Empress and her sons you are! No, you fitted, had you but a more. For, well, I wot the Empress never wags, but in her company there is a more. But welcome as you are. What shall we do?
What wouldst thou have us do, Andronicus?
Show me a murderer. I'll deal with him. Show me a villain that hath done a rape. I'm sent to be revenged on him.
Show me 1,000 that hath done thee wrong, and I'll be revenged on them all.
Look round about the wicked streets of Rome, and when thou find'st a man that's like thyself could murder, stab him! He is a murderer! Go thou with him, and when it is thy hap to find another that's like to thee good repine, stab him! He is a ravisher! Go thou with them, and in the emperor's court there is a queen, attended by a Moor. Well shalt thou know her, by thine own proportion, for up and down she doth resemble thee. I pray thee, do on them some violent death. They have been violent to me and mine.
Well hast thou lessoned us. This shall we do. But would it please thee, good Andronicus, to send for Lucius, thy first valiant son, who leads towards Rome a band of warlike Goths, and bid him come and banquet at thy house. And when he is here, even at the solemn feast, I will bring in the Empress and her sons, the Emperor himself, and all thy foes, and at thy mercy they shall stoop and kneel, and on them thou shalt ease thy angry heart. What says Andronicus of this device?
Marcus, my brother, to set Titus calls. Go, gentle Marcus, to thy nephew Lucius. Thou shalt inquire him out among the Goths. Bid him repair to me and bring with him some of the chiefest princes of the Goths. Bid him encamp his soldiers where they are. Tell him the emperor and the empress to feast at my house, and he shall feast with them.
This shall I do, and soon return again.
And now will I hence about thy business, and take my ministers with me.
Nay, nay! Let rape and murder stay with me a while, or else I'll call my brother back and cleave to no revenge but Lucius.
What say you, boys? Will you abide with him while I go tell my lord the emperor how I have governed our determined jest? Smooth and speak him fair, and tarry with him till I turn again.
I knew them all, though they supposed me mad, and will o'erreach them, even in their own devices. A pair of cursed hellhounds, and their dam.
Madam, my pleasure. Leave us here.
Farewell, Andronicus. Revenge now goes to lay a complot to betray thy foes.
I know thou dost, in sweet revenge. Farewell.
Speak, old man! How shall we be employed?
Tut! I have work enough for you to do. Publius, come hither. Lucius and Valentine.
What is your will?
Know you these two?
The Emperor's sons, I take them? Chiron, Demetrius?
Fine, Publius, thou art too much deceived. This one is murder, and rape is the other's name. Therefore, bind them, gentle Publius, Lucius, and Valentine. Lay hands on them. Often you heard me wish for such an hour, and now I find it. Therefore, bind them sure. And stop their tongues if they do begin to cry.
Felons, forbear! We are the Empress's sons! Therefore do we as we are commanded. Stop, close their mouths, let them not speak a word. Is he sure bound? Look that you bind them fast.
Come, Lavinia, look. Thy foes are bound, but let them hear what fearful words I utter. O villains, Chiron and Demetrius, here stands the spring, whom you have stained with mud this goodly summer with your winter mixed. You killed her husband, and For that vile fault, 2 of her brothers were condemned to death. My hand cut off and made a merry jest. Both her hands, her tongue, and that more dear than hands or tongue, her spotless chastity. Inhuman traitors, you constrained and forced. What would you say if I should let you speak? Villains, for shame you did not beg for grace. Hark, wretches, how I mean to martyr you. This one hand yet is left to cut your throats, whilst that Lavinia, 'tween her stumps, doth hold the basin that receives your guilty blood. You know your mother means to feast with me, and calls herself revenge, and thinks me mad. Villains, I will grind your bones to dust, and of your blood in it I'll make a paste. And of that paste a coffin will I rear, and make 2 pastries of your shameful heads, and bid that strumpet, your unhallowed dam, like to the earth, swallow her own increase. This is the banquet that I have bid her to, and this the feast shall she serve it on. For worse than Philomel, you used my daughter, and worse than Procne, I will be revenged. Now prepare your throats. Lavinia, come. Make this feast, which I wish may prove more stern and bloody than the centaurs. So now bring them in, for I'll play the cook, and see them ready against their mother comes.
Uncle Marcus, since 'tis my father's mind that I repair to Rome, I am content.
And ours with thine befall what fortune will.
Good uncle, take you in this barbarous war. Let him receive no sustenance. Fetter him till he be brought unto the emperor's face for testimony of her foul proceedings. And see the ambush of our friends is strong. I fear the emperor means no good to us.
Some devil whisper curses in my ear, and bid me that my tongue may utter forth the venomous malice of my swelling heart.
Sirs, help our uncle to convey him in. The trumpet showed the emperor is at hand.
What? Hath the firmament more sons than one?
What boots it thee to call thyself a son?
Rome's emperor and nephew break the quarrel. These quarrels must be quietly debated. The feast is ready which the careful Titus hath ordained to an honorable end, for peace, for love, for league, and good to Rome. Please you therefore draw nigh and take your places.
This we will. Welcome, my lord. Welcome, dread queen. Welcome, you warlike gods, and welcome, Lucius. Although the feast be poor, I pray you eat of it. It will fill your stomachs.
Why art thou thus attired, Andronicus?
I would be sure to have all well, to entertain your highness and your empress.
We are beholden to you, good Andronicus.
And if you knew my heart, you were. My lord the emperor, resolve me this. Was it well done of rash Virginius to slay his daughter with his own right hand because she was enforced, stained, and deflowered?
It was Andronicus.
The reason, mighty lord.
Because the girl should not survive her shame, and with her presence still renew his sorrows.
A reason mighty, strong, and effectual. Pattern precedent, lively warrant. For me, most wretched to perform the like. Die. Die with me. And my shame would be with thy shame thy father's sorrow die.
What hast thou done, unnatural and unkind?
Killer, for whom my tears have made me blind. I am as woeful as Virginius was, and have 1,000 times more cause than he to do this outrage. And it now is done.
What was she ravished? Tell who did the deed.
Wilt please you eat, wilt please your highness feed.
Why hast thou slain thine only daughter thus?
Not I. Was Chiron and Demetrius. They ravished her and cut away her tongue, and 'twas they that did her all this wrong.
Come fetch her hither to us presently.
Why, there they are, baked in this pie, whereof their mother daintily hath been eating the flesh that she herself hath bred. 'Tis true. 'Tis true. Witness my knife's sharp point.
Die, frantic wretch, for this accursed deed.
In the sun's eye behold his father bleed. There's meat for meat, death for a deadly deed.
Rome herself be bane unto herself, and she whom mighty kingdoms curtsy to, like a forlorn and desperate castaway, do shameful execution on herself. Here's Rome's young captain. Let him tell the tale. Tell us what Sinon hath bewitched our ears, or who hath brought the fatal engine in that gives our Troy, our Rome, the civil wound.
Then, gracious auditory, be it known to you that Chiron and the damned Demetrius were they that murdered our emperor's brother, and they it were that ravished our sister. For their fell faults, our brothers were beheaded, our father's tears despised, and basely cozened of that true hand that fought Rome's quarrel out. Lastly, myself unkindly banished, to beg relief among Rome's enemies.
Now is my turn to speak. Behold the child, of this was Tamora delivered, the issue of an irreligious Moor, chief architect and plotter of these woes. The villain is alive in Titus' house, and as he is to witness, this is true. Now judge, what course had Titus to revenge? Now have you heard the truth, what say you, Romans? Have we done aught amiss? Show us wherein, and from the place where you behold us pleading, the poor remainder of Andronici will hand in hand all headlong hurl ourselves. Speak, Romans, speak! And if you say we shall, lo, hand in hand, Lucius and I will fall.
Come, come, thou reverend man of Rome, and bring our emperor gently in thy hand. Lucius, our emperor, for well I know the common voice of the cry it shall be so.
Lucius, all hail, Rome's royal emperor.
Thanks, gentle Romans. May I govern so, to heal Rome's harms and wipe away her woe.
Give sentence on this execrable wretch that hath been breeder of these dire events.
Set him breast deep in the earth and famish him. There let him stand and rave and cry for food, if anyone relieves or pities him. For the offense he dies. This is our doom. Some stay to see him fastened in the earth. Some loving friends convey our emperor hence, and give him burial in his father's grave. My father and Lavinia shall forthwith be closed in our household's monument. As for that ravenous tiger Tamora, no funeral rite, nor man in mourning weed, no mournful bell shall ring her burial, but throw her forth to beasts and birds to prey. Her life was beastly and devoid of pity, and being dead, let birds on her take pity.